Hello, I'm Luke, and welcome to another episode of the Vision Victory podcast, where we discuss practical ways to turn your dreams into reality. Last week, we did a brief segment on connection and how we all need it, and how it can be so lacking sometimes in today's culture of distraction and technology. Today, I want to do another brief segment on vulnerability and how vulnerability is necessary for connection. And again, it's so easy to not be vulnerable in today's world, to not be real about what's going on. And then we don't get the connection that we need. And we don't connect by being behind a veneer or living, behind a facade. We've known those people when it seems like all the interaction is, surface level and you never really get to know them. If I'm honest, there have been times in my life where that's been me. In fact, maybe for much of it. And I didn't realize it at the time, but it felt safer to stay behind a wall of, surface interactions because if people really knew me, maybe they wouldn't like me, or I would feel some sense of rejection, and that's a very lonely feeling to be not known. We again talked about this last week, but we need connection. It's what gives our life substance and meaning, and in order to do that, we need to be real with people. And it's so important to have some people in our lives that we can be real with. It doesn't need to be a lot, by the way. In fact, I would say more times than not, it probably isn't going to be a lot, but we need to have those people. And what I have realized is I think it can be easy maybe for some of us to think, well, I don't have those people. And sometimes, not always, but sometimes the truth is we maybe do have those people, but we maybe don't know it, or haven't gotten the benefit of connection because we're not vulnerable and we're not real. And again, usually it's for fear of rejection or fear of being hurt. And I get it. Everybody gets it. That's why it's connecting. One of the reasons it's connecting is because most of the time people can relate. If you're dealing with something difficult, or you just got your own questions about whatever, like, people can relate. And so we have to be vulnerable for real relationship. And speaking from somebody who I think missed out on that for a lot of my life, I hope that you'll let your guard down and make the choice to be vulnerable. I'd ask you this: do you have someone that you are real and vulnerable with, or are you missing out on connection because you won't let your guard down? And just encourage you to take the risk, let your guard down, be real. It'll make your life so much better on the other side of being vulnerable and being able to be your real self, and then also the connection that you get on the other side of that. So take the risk, let your guard down. Hope this was helpful for somebody. If it was, share it. I'll talk to you next week.